So after his big win, defending his title, his IBF title at junior welterweight. I'm sorry, at super welterweight. I'm sorry. Uh, Bakhram Murtazaliev, has been making the headlines. Will he become undisputed at 154 pounds? Because I'll be honest, man. Before this fight with Tim Tszyu, nobody really was like. We knew there was a few champions at 154. Nobody really was paying Bakhram Murtazaliev any mind, bro. Most people don't even know who he is. And I watched some of his fights before Bud even got at 154. I've seen a couple of his fights. I guess I never looked at him as a spectacular fighter. He was a decent fighter to me. The Kolke fight, you know, he went through a lot. He went through a lot in that fight, but I never looked at him like, oh damn, Murtazaliev, yeah, he gonna be undisputed. It never dawned on me. But could that be a thing now? Because Tim Tszyu is pretty much, as of at least right now, he's not a factor anymore. He got knocked out by Murtazaliev last Saturday in an attempt to capture the IBF title, and he failed miserably. Even though he went in there and did his thing, he fought the wrong fight. He was talking a lot of trash before the fight. A lot of people were saying that's what he get, saying he was gonna knock Murtazaliev out in 30 seconds. And, that's just. What did I tell y'all about that? Didn't I told y'all in many videos, right? These fighters got to stop saying that shit. They got to stop talking about, I'm going to get a knockout in the second round. I'm going to knock this dude out in 30 seconds. And then when they don't do it, people going to look at them funny like, bro, you went in there talking about you was going to be this big killer and all of this stuff, and you got smoked. You know what I'm saying? He got demolished, bro. And that's why I say, just when it comes to the knockout thing, just be humble, bro. Like, yo, look, I'm looking to get the knockout. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, then it don't. As long as I get the win. You know what I'm saying? But all of this, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm getting him out in 30 seconds, or I'm gonna knock him. I'm gonna knock Tank out. And remember Ryan Garcia? I'm gonna knock him out in this round. And Devin, I'm gonna get the knockout and then don't get a knockout. Like, I got to stop that shit, man. But you could chalk it up. You could chalk it up as trash talk, but trash talk is saying, look, yeah, I'm gonna get him out of there. I'm gonna knock him out. He's getting smoked. I get it. That's being a little more. It's not being as specific. But when you start talking about specifics and, oh, I'm gonna knock you out in 5th round and I'm gonna get him out in like 1 round, and then you don't do it, bro. That's not good, man. That's not a good look. Now what happens is when you come back from your loss, or you didn't look good in your fight and you won, and you didn't look good, or you struggled to get a knockout and didn't get the knockout. Now ain't nobody gonna believe you no more. So. But this Murtazaliev dude, man, he can fight, dude. He impressed me. I guess with Tim Tszyu, there's levels to this thing, man. Tim Tszyu, I always looked at him as a pretty good fighter, but like I said, there's levels, man. Styles make fights, and he just don't got the style to beat Murtazaliev, man. And if we talking 154, we got Bakhram Murtazaliev, IBF champ. Terrence Crawford's the WBA champ. Jermell Charlo's the WBA champ in recess. Yeah, right, whatever. Sebastian Fundora is the WBC champ, and he's the WBO champ. Okay, so we have pretty much 3 champions in the division. Sebastian Fundora, Terrence Crawford, and Bakhram Murtazaliev. Okay. So, with that being said, does Murtazaliev have what it takes to be the next big star and undisputed at 154? Well, the answer is, to me, in my humble opinion, no. I think he's gonna fall short. When you're talking about fighting the champions, that is, okay. Sebastian Fundora versus Murtazaliev. I give Murtazaliev a high chance, a high probability of beating a Sebastian Fundora for sure. So we might see if we get that fight before Crawford fights Sebastian. But then they saying Errol Spence Jr. is supposed to be thrown up in the mix, all of this stuff. So we could look at it different ways. Let's say Errol Spence does fight Fundora. Errol Spence wins, beats Fundora. He becomes WBC, WBO champ. Then we talking a Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Errol Spence Jr. fight for unification. I don't see Errol Spence beating the Bakhram Murtazaliev, man. I'm going to keep harping on this, man. And you Errol Spence fans, I know y'all love your boy. I don't have nothing personal against Errol Spence, man. All we ask is that we want to see him fight somebody, bro. That's it. We've been asking for this for almost 2 years. You know what I mean? He's been out of the ring since 2023. We're about to go into 2025. He had the entire rest of 2023 to fight. All of 2024. Come on, man. We about to go into 2025, man. He could have got a fight in, man. What's the reason why this dude has not fought nobody yet, man? And you expect me to believe he gonna make some noise at 154 and we ain't seen him fight nobody yet? Nah, man. I can't give him that. I can't put that that label on Errol Spence right now. I can't put that on his back. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So look, if Errol Spence was to fight Murtazaliev, he gets stopped. You don't blame me for that. Don't blame me for that prediction. Blame Errol Spence and PBC for not showing us what he got left in him after fighting Terrence Crawford. That ain't my fault. That ain't nobody else's fault. That's Errol Spence's fault. That's the PBC fault, Al Heyman, and that's you Errol Spence fans' fault for not pushing him to take a fight. At this point in his career, we don't give a damn about no damn him fighting no tune-ups. We not gonna fault him for that, man. Because he took an ass whooping from Terrence Crawford. Who would laugh at him for taking a damn tune-up, dude? A 1 or 2 tune-ups. Nobody would say anything. And if I heard somebody say something about that, I'd be like, yo, y'all full of shit. That man deserved a fucking tune-up or 2, bro. The fuck y'all talking about? Just my opinion. Right? Errol Spence gets stopped by Murtazaliev, and he would end up taking those 2 belts from Errol Spence. Just facts. Okay? Now, you got, let's say Errol Spence fights Fundora, loses. Now you got Fundora and Murtazaliev. I think that fight is going to be tough for Murtazaliev, but I think Murtazaliev wins that fight. Probably by decision. All right? Or it could be a knockout, but I see it going in the cards. I see him, he has a lot of punch volume, so I can see him outboxing Sebastian Fundora, but he's going to get beat up in that fight pretty bad because he don't move around enough. He's going to get beat up in that fight against Fundora. That's going to be a tough fight for Murtazaliev for sure. Now, let's say some other possibilities. Let's say Virgil Ortiz, he's the interim WBC, right? Let's say we get Virgil Ortiz and Sebastian Fundora. Virgil wins, and now we got Murtazaliev versus Virgil Ortiz. That's a tough fight for Virgil Ortiz too. All right, now I got to go back and check. I want to see, who actually has, hits harder out of Murtazaliev and Bohachuk. I'm looking at it right now, pulling it up. I'm looking at Bohachuk's box rank. You know what? Nah. I don't even need to check Murtazaliev. Bohachuk is at a 95% knockout ratio. And if I can remember, Murtazaliev is somewhere around 70-something%, something like that. So definitely Sergey Bohachuk is a harder puncher than Bakhram Murtazaliev. So I think it'll still be a kind of tough fight for Virgil Ortiz because Murtazaliev throws way more punches than Bohachuk. You know what I mean? He's not as... Bohachuk is more of a calculated fighter, much slower speed. Murtazaliev ain't no Ryan Garcia or nothing like that with his speed, but he got some good speed. So But if Virgil, if Virgil could take them shots from Boychuk, man, he should be able to take those shots from Murtazaliev, unless his punch resistance were down. A lot of people don't talk about that. Just because he could take a punch in one fight against a hard puncher, and then you get in there with somebody that hits much softer, doesn't mean automatically you're gonna be able to take those shots. What if that dude that you took them hard punches from wore you out and fucked your chin up? That's something to think about too. But overall, I think Virgil's still gonna have problems with Murtazaliev's punch output, man. I think I got Murtazaliev beating Virgil Ortiz by decision for sure. So I got Murtazaliev beating Errol Spence Jr. I got him beating Sebastian Fundora. I got him beating Virgil Ortiz. This is just how I feel. I know many others' opinions will be different, but this is just something that I'm feeling. I'm feeling it in my bones. Just an opinion. Now let's say we got Terrence Crawford. Let's say Crawford end up fighting Sebastian Fundora. I think Crawford beats him. And now we got a Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Terrence Crawford. Does Bud beat Bakhram Murtazaliev? In my humble opinion, that would be a pretty interesting fight. I think Murtazaliev would have to look for Bud. See, he don't have to look for Virgil Ortiz. He don't have to look for Sebastian Fundora. See, that's the thing. But you got to find Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is not going to be there and just stand there in the middle of the ring going blow for blow with Murtazaliev. It's not going to happen. And I think Murtazaliev is, I think Crawford hit significantly harder than Tim Tszyu. So I'm looking at it like we might have we might have spurts of bang outs between them two. But Bud, as he gets old, I think he's a little wiser than he was. He's not gonna get into stupid exchanges. It's not gonna happen unless he know he got you. He's not gonna just stand there if he don't know he got you where he wants you at yet. That's not Terrence Crawford's style. So I see that fight. I'm not sure if he knocks out Murtazaliev. It's quite possible because Madrimov was a better mover than Murtazaliev is. He had better footwork, better in and out movement and all that stuff, and feints and things. That was giving Crawford some certain issues in that fight. I don't see that with Bakhram Murtazaliev. So, with that being said, I don't think Bakhram Murtazaliev comes close to beating Terrence Crawford. I think Crawford will probably knock him out because he's more stationary than Madrimov. So it was kind of harder for Bud to really get off, playing his feet the way he wanted to against the dude. Even when he did manage to hurt Madrimov to the body a few times. But I can see him stopping Bakhram Murtazaliev, man. Now, Jermell Charlo, if he ends up fighting Terrence Crawford and wins and beats Bud, and then you got a Bakhram Murtazaliev and Jermell Charlo fight, how does that go? I don't see Murtazaliev beating Charlo either. I don't see him beating Charlo. So if Charlo somehow became the champion, whooped Terrence Crawford, I see Terrence Crawford and Jermell Charlo knocking out Bakhram Murtazaliev. So he will fall short of being undisputed. So in my humble opinion, if all is said and done at 154, the only two dudes I could possibly see being undisputed is Terrence Crawford and even Jermell Charlo again. If he was to come back, if he was to beat Terrence Crawford, if they lined up a fight for his WBA, and then Fundora fought Bakhram Murtazaliev, and then I think Murtazaliev wins and beats Fundora, gets his belt. Now we got Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Jermell Charlo. I think Charlo knocks him out and becomes undisputed at 154 twice. So I think that's probably what's going to happen if it plays out like that. Either Terrence Crawford going to be undisputed or Jermell Charlo. So you heard it here first, just my opinion. he will not be a star for but so much longer. He got some shine right now for being Tim Tszyu, but I mean, Tim Tszyu didn't even have a belt. He just defended his title. That's all he did. But he's gonna get a little shine off of that. But I think that belt is the only belt that Murtazaliev is gonna have, or he might get the belts from Sebastian Fundura. The most he's going to be is unified. He's not going to be undisputed because Terrence Crawford and Jermell Charlo are going to stop him. That's just my humble opinion. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. Will Bakhram Murtazaliev be the next star at 154? Will he be undisputed? Talk to me, man. This is Rebel Life Boxing. You know what it is. Catch y'all on the next one. And I'm off this.